Hello, this is personal development. In this video, in this curriculum, I'll be talking about some facets of personal development that are incredibly important for you. Now, you may think that personal development is just trying to improve at stuff or strategically trying to get involved in a different way, or using your knowledge and your skills to be more holistic, meditate more, or be closer to God, or praying, or all that sort of stuff. But in actuality, personal development is just a title. There's so many ways you can do it. There's not one way you can improve. And there's not an improve context recalification. Why? What does that even mean? It's kind of like a spinner. You're spinning around a paradoxical word, trying to understand it completely. Holistically, it's kind of like saying there is no definition for a word we use that we cannot prove. You have to get to the point where you pay attention to your thoughts all the time. Meditate on it and don't meditate. Or do whatever you want when you're in your thoughts. Say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. To the point where you get feedback. And that feedback will help you. But how is it going to help you? You have to put the work into it. You have to spend a decade learning. Until you do learn and you realize all that work could have been done earlier. If only you could go back and try again. Well, that's not the case this time. Because it did happen. You did go back and rewrite everything. And that's how personal development works. Training your mind to go into different subsets. To work on different qualities from your past. Reintegration. Carl Jung, conscious shadow work, and all that stuff. Working with the anima, the animus, the inner child, the inner baby, the inner adult. All of that. So, what else? Well, try to train yourself to see personal development as a non-hierarchical position, non-hierarchical state, where it's not fixed, it's not a line, it's not a dot, it's not a point, it's non-linear. This talk is non-linear, all of it. But it seems to have some clarification to how it works. It seems to have some sort of context. I would say to myself, are you going to take the red or blue or purple or black or white or beige pill, any of those pills to enter the matrix or get out of the matrix, which is essentially the personal development you go on, or is it not? You want to be a beta male, alpha male, omega male, delta male. You want to be the cool kid, the nerd, the jock. Do you want to be the hero, the villain, the anti-hero? Do you just want to be an ordinary person? Do you want to be the side character? Do you want to be the main character? Do you want to be the negative 1/12th character? Do you want to be infinity itself when that is reached by personal development, by reference to other creators of video essays or personal development YouTube gurus that say that infinity is the answer to everything? But it's not implied actual infinity, is it? What is actually applied? And what are you actually realizing? If you go into the deep details, you don't have to let go of all these emotions, this ego, all this stuff, because it will re-rise and come back in one way or another. You don't really lose anything. If you do lose your ego or go through any of those states of mind, well, that's the fault of personal development. That's why I don't use it. That's why I have no purpose. Because I do have no purpose. I work, I do all this stuff, but because I'm just a madman in a box. I don't know what I'm doing. I just do things. I do things without knowing how I do them. Isn't that how we all work, and we pretend to think that we're not doing it? Some people think the monetary value of actually doing good in your life is having a job, having a car, having all these life goals. But it's not that. Or it is, if you see it in a new context where you actually have a physicality of proof. You need proof to say that the physical things that you're earning is good for you. But what is good? What is bad? All that sort of jazz. It's like figuring out the mysticism behind what you're actually feeling. But what if you say your emotions, your intelligence, your thoughts are not mystical? They're realistic, analytical, atheist. Is personal development atheistic or secular? Or it's kind of like a belief system? That's another question to ask. Changing the subject to the next talk in this personal development video, I'll be communicating about relationships. Why is it that we think relationships should be 50-50? Why is it that you think that relationships should be chaotic, beautiful, why is it that we feel like it has to be materialistic, down to nature? Maybe people want what they want, but a relationship should be grown over time with excellence, victory. There should be a strength with the allies beside you, not the same thing every day. And you can see in your relationships where some people just want to stay the same and other people want to actually improve with you. And maybe it is the case and you're not aware of it. But you'll be blind if you don't understand what is actually growing beside you. And that's where conscious politics comes into play. Conscious politics actually puts you into perspective different than typical news politics. You talk about mystical things, ideas in personal development, ideas in religion, and other stuff. Not just religion, but what we think about, depending on how we think, the deep thoughts, all that sort of stuff. But is it necessary? Is it really necessary? Maybe it is. Depending. No need to get emotional. I'm just a little serious right now because I just don't want to give up. I want to get stronger. I want to rise to the top. And I think you should want the same. And I'm going to constantly motivate you guys because you guys are there for me, even when you're not there. In this little show called Wenatchee World, or Earth, or Gallifrey, or Valedictorian School. I don't know. On to the next subject in this personal development video. I wanted to talk about structure in finance and business and personal work. Personal relationships with money. What do you actually want to use your money on? Do you want to invest it in projects and inventions, or you want to waste it on food, beer, going to bars, going to parties? Because I have to say I make the same issue, but what the focus should be entirely on with money should be whatever you want. See how I switch that? But not everything you actually want. I'm not going to say use it whatever you want on, because that's going to imply that you could use it on really bad things. And I'm not going to say that. You should be critically aware what you should use your money on that is morally correct, in a morally objectified way. But money is applied to work, and it has a spiritual definition to it. It is materialistic, spiritual, and part of nature. And every time you spend that money, it's a part of a tree going away. We are lessening nature by providing our own personal life of work, finance, and behavior to it, where we feel like we can just let other things fall so we can rise. But that's the problem. We see so linear like that. Why don't we just look at it another way, where we're not really treating it like that? We're born into this world and we're doing things without notice, and that's why we have to work to make a better world, a better system. And that's also the problem. We're not trying to actually make it better because we don't know what better is, and we'll never reach that better. So depending on what we think about, we're creating problems. So what are we actually trying to reach? And I have a perspective. It's called Deba, Plebo, Glebar. They're kind of composite words, kind of like medicine, but they're not actually medicine. They're different states of change in a system. But if you're actually reaching betterment, it validates it. And it's your choice to say, I want to get better. But you have to use the words in a way where it doesn't seem like it's everyday use, where you can just feel like that you can just waste life doing the same thing every day. Because doesn't it always feel like the same thing every day, same house, same sky. It's not the same. It's always different. This house is not the same house it was earlier. I'm not the same person I was a second ago. Every millisecond or every decasecond or smallest seconds we're regenerating. Our cells are dying. I have died like a million times in this video and I'm still here. Isn't that beautiful how we're still here? So, understanding that we're regenerating, actually, like, try to give some appreciation of what's happening. Appreciation for your work, personal and beneficial life. Work on that and realize that one of these days